This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Good morning, Michelle, fellow history rock star. And Michelle's got some very interesting segments this month of January as we look at the connections between the state of Oklahoma and the state of Kansas. They were, sister states for a long, long time, sister territories for a while, and that has resulted in some pretty interesting history. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Deb, and a very happy new year to you and all our viewers. This month, I want to take a look at the connections between Kansas and the Indian Territory, our neighbor to the south we know as Oklahoma. Today, let's look at the connections between Fort Scott and Fort Gibson. While historians recognize the close yet troubled relationship between Kansas and Missouri, what of our neighbor on the southern border? From the mid-1840s to the close of the Civil War, Fort Scott, located in southeastern Kansas, and Fort Gibson, located in the Indian Territory, shared a close working relationship. After its founding in 1842, Fort Scott played a major role in supplying men and materials for military efforts in the Indian Territory and the West. Fort Scott was ideally located halfway between Fort Leavenworth to the north and Fort Gibson to the south. Supply convoys left Fort Scott laden with foodstuffs, uniforms, armaments, and medical supplies, headed for Fort Gibson on a regular basis. The officers at both forts worked hand in hand to police the permanent Indian frontier line that separated the lands of native peoples in the West from the United States in the East. During the Civil War, Forts Scott and Gibson were key for Union control in the region amongst the native nations in the Indian Territory. In the summer of 1863, troops from Fort Scott, including the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Regiments of Indian Home Guard and the 1st Kansas Colored Infantry, worked to protect supply trains destined for Fort Gibson. On July 1st and 2nd, 1863, the First Battle of Cabin Creek pitted Confederates under the command of Colonel Stand Watie against troops from Fort Scott. After a Confederate retreat, the supply train continued on to Fort Gibson. By July of 1863, Confederate attacks upon Union supply trains had grown troublesome. Union forces, including African American and Native American troops from Kansas and Fort Scott, led by General James Blunt, made their way into the Indian Territory. On July 17, 1863, Blunt's Union forces clashed with General Douglas Cooper's Confederates. By the end of the day, Blunt and his Union troops, many from Fort Scott, were victorious. The battle at Honey Springs was the culmination of the relationship between Forts Scott and Gibson and preserved Union control over the Indian Territory for the remainder of the war. Today, Fort Scott is a unit of the National Park Service. Fort Gibson is an Oklahoma State historic site. You can visit both places to connect with our shared history. I hope you'll join me next time for another historical adventure somewhere around Kansas.
Hope your new year is off to a very nice start. It's great to have you with us every week. We appreciate you so much, and we appreciate your telling your friends all about us and sharing us on Facebook or our YouTube links. I'm Deb Goodrich, and I'll see you somewhere around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.